Mayor.
Okay.
I'd like to respond.
Yes, sir. Mr. Solicitor.
Thank you. I think it's important for people to know that the agreement whereby the city agreed to pay the $50,000 debt of KCDC, even though it was not contractually required to, an interest rate of 6% was put in the promissory notes that KCDC was going to have to sign, because that was the exact same interest rate that was put in the documents the prior year that was sent to, at that time it was SECEDA, and that interest rate remained in the documents the next year that they were sent over, and that's the year that Commissioner Wilder claims that an inappropriate interest rate was used. Of course, that 6% interest rate had been reviewed by the prior city manager. He had seen those documents because I had sent him a copy of those documents, as I do with all the work that I do with the city. I make sure that my client understands what's going on. Commissioner Wilder was informed of that fact and was even provided a copy of what had been sent to KCDC the previous year. I'd also like to point out that he claims that I've attempted to once again mislead the commission by including an interest rate of 1% for the promissory note for the past 3 years, because in each of the past 3 years the city has had to pick up a $50,000 approximately amount loan payoff that KCDC was unable to make to KCO. That 1% was put in all 3 promissory notes, and that document was actually once again circulated to the county attorney, who was privy to discussions. The document was also circulated to the city manager, who was privy to the discussions, to make sure that it was okay. And no one objected to the 1% being included in all 3 promissory notes until we had a meeting with KCDC, and at that point in time they said we didn't agree to pay 1% interest on the loans for the prior years. We only agreed to pay the 1% interest on the loan for the current year.
Because that's how
whether or not
to us.
Hold it. He has the floor.
Yeah.
Whether or not 6% or 1% is an appropriate interest rate for an entity to pay when they've been unable to pay their debts, and the city is having to stand in their place and use its taxpayer money to pay those debts, is neither here nor there. Once KCD indicated that it believed it was just to pay 1% interest for the current year and not for the 2 prior years, of course those documents were changed. Again, I run the work that I do for the city through the department heads as well as the city manager, and when required, before the city commission. Now, the next thing is, have I ever been verbally reprimanded by the city commission? Commissioner Wilder says I have. If I have, I certainly don't know about it, because no one has ever told me that I have been verbally reprimanded. I think it's important when people are in the position as a city commissioner that they rely on the facts when they make statements, particularly statements that involve employees. And I would recommend that people very carefully review the record before they make an allegation that's untrue, such as me being reprimanded by the city commission. I could go further, but I don't think it's appropriate at this time. I just wanted to set the record straight, and I, again, I think it's important that the public understand that I have never been verbally reprimanded by the City Commission. Certainly, Commissioner Wilder has been critical of me on more than one occasion. I understand that there are differences of opinion, and I can work with that. However, I want people to be honest and forthright in what they say, and I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to recognize you, Commissioner Wilder. We're not going to be in a long back and forth.
We don't need to.
Yes.
I just want to note that in regards to that, in regards to the 1% interest that was charged on the past promissory notes, the commission were provided those documents. And we were also provided a summary of the documents. And they were also described to us in detail by the city solicitor in a work session. The description and the summary made it very clear that we would be charging 1% interest on this loan and on future loans. That's what they said. And the description and the summary that was given to the City Commission, the Fiscal Court, and KCDC all omitted, completely omitted. There was zero mention of the fact that we would also be approving 1% interest on previously approved loans, on the fact that we would be tacking the interest onto loans that a previous commission had charged. And nobody even realized that that's what we'd approved. Not a single member of the City Commission, not a single member of the Fiscal Court, nor a single member of KCDC realized that that's what we'd approved, because we had been told otherwise. We had been told, both in writing and in verbiage, and in a public meeting, that we were approving interest on this loan and future loans. But the fact that we were charging interest on the past loans was conveniently or inconveniently, depending on how you want to look at it, omitted from that summary and description. And so that's what, and I agree that it is the city solicitor's job to make sure we know what we're voting on. In that case, regardless of whether or not the omission was an attempt to intentionally mislead us or simply a matter of negligence or poor job performance, I think everybody can agree that the Commission, the Fiscal Court, and KCDC were not made aware of what we were actually approving. We were approving something very different than what we had been led to believe. And in regards to the idea that I guess Rob and I are in agreement that when a majority of this commission agreed that Rob misused his position and that this counted, and that his attempt to charge interest behind our back, so that our knowledge or consent counted as a strike against him.
I certainly do not agree with that.
Right, I know. Well, no, he and I both agree that that isn't on the record, and that's my point. It's just like Tony Mathis' ethics conviction, which isn't on the record either. But we all know what happened. We all know what happened, Mayor. And just because you can keep something off the record doesn't mean it didn't happen.
The ordinance, it says the role of the mayor, it says is to keep order and decorum. And also, it's part of our ordinance that I hope all the commissioners have read. It states that when we make our presentations, we try to keep it within 5 minutes, just as well as we do other people. And the commission is not a place where to attack people individually. It's I just find it very offensive. Going back, it's got started from when we had a recommendation about what the role is of the city manager and his role and his commission. We could debate that. I don't know, you can see you have the KRS, but there is some decorum, there is some order that's important for a group to function. Now, we are the city commission. We're a board. We are elected, obviously, but we're a board. And if we're not in session here, none of each of us has any particular statutory power. And I think that was the point that was, part of the point was trying to be made by citizen comments. That the city manager being the executive officer, dealing with department heads, I think personally as mayor, I think it'd be inappropriate for me if I get a phone call from someone with a criticism of someone in the city employee, for me to go to that department head and make that criticism known. That's the way I perceive it.
Agreed.
I would go to the city manager. So there is some order that we should follow. We've got off track here. I really get embarrassed sometimes from knowing that we're on cable 10 and people watching this. And, so I'm sorry for all the outbreaks. Any more citizen comments? Down to ordinances, there being none. Orders, there being none. Resolutions, there being none. Now down to consent calendar. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. First item is 7.1 to authorize change order number 2 to contract with leak eliminators for the Home Street Storm Sewer Project and authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to this change order. This project has been completed and is in the final balancing change order that reduces the contract amount by $33,046.75 based on actual quantities installed. I'd like to note this is highly unusual, and we appreciate it, Mr. Scout. We came in under the change order, so the city is getting returned $33,046.75. So it makes the revised contract $1,679,353. Item 7.2 to authorize bid contract for Home Street Stormwater Separation Contract C1. This includes the general vicinity of Mayer Avenue, Hudson Street, Franklin Street, Collins Street, Triplet Avenue, and Gale Street. The project is the next phase of removing stormwater from the combined sewer, and the construction cost is estimated to be $600,000. Item 7.3, to authorize award of an engineering services agreement with Jacoby, Toombs, and Lance Incorporated for consulting services for the design of a Vector dump pit at the wastewater treatment plant, and to authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. Item 7.4, to authorize change order number 1 on the East Frankfort pump station and authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. This change order is for $15,336 and brings the total contract to $2,060,336. Item 7.5, to authorize additional funds to the engineering agreement with Hazen Sawyer, PSC, for an engineering study on repairing or replacing the interceptor line on Swaggart Avenue to the Kentucky River, and authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. Amendment number 1 is not to exceed amount of $64,000. Item 7.6, to authorize a bid award to Gohagen Roofing to repair the roof of the pump station roof at the wastewater treatment plant at the sewer department. Consider a bid award of $36,286. Item 7.7, to authorize award of a professional services agreement with Sherman Carter Barnhart for architectural services associated with the design of an energy-efficient vestibule for the lobby entrance to the wastewater treatment plant, and to authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. The total contract amount for this agreement is $9,275. Item 7.1, to authorize award.
What was that?
I'm sorry.
7.1.
7.8.
Okay.
Did I say 7.1? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, 7.8, to authorize award of a professional services agreement with HMB Professional Engineers Incorporated for the evaluation of electrical services associated with the wastewater treatment plant, and to authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to that project. HMB was chosen for the project since they designed the recent plant upgrade in 1999 and therefore were very familiar with the plant operations. The total contract amount for this agreement is $19,500. Item 7.9, to support the filing of 2012 grant application for Alliance for Community Trees People's Gardens Grant. This will be located in the city property, therefore Parks and Recreation would like to aid this project by utilizing labor, plannings, and funds to help facilitate the project. There's a 50-50 match for this grant, which will be $10,000 and can be satisfied with in-kind labor and materials. Item 7.10, to authorize disposal of surplus property. This is for the fire department, and they have removed the 2001 Ford Expedition. So the two items that would be declared surplus would be 2002 Ford E450 ambulance, 2005 Ford E450 ambulance. Item 7.11, to authorize award of an engineering services agreement with URS Corporation for consulting services for Phase 1 of a feasibility study associated with the creation of a stormwater utility, and to authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. 6 firms responded with bids for this project. URS was selected based primarily upon their experiences with assisting with the creation of other stormwater utilities in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Total contract amount is $49,975. Item 7.12, to authorize approval of an agreement with Republic Services Incorporated and authorize the mayor to sign the documents. The wastewater treatment plant must periodically, the wastewater treatment plant must dispose of biosolids or special waste in the Benson Valley landfill. Item 7.13, to authorize bid award of a roof repair contract for the City of Frankfort Municipal Building to Caulk Roofing and Sheet Metal. There were 6 bids, and the low bid was $181,343.69, submitted by Caulk Roofing and Sheet Metal. A budget amendment of $130,000 will be added to the February 2012 agenda, and the remaining $70,000 from the energy grant will fund the Phase 2 roof repair project. Item 7.14 are personnel actions. First is the appointment of Joshua Bastin, police officer, promotion of Mark Noe Jr. In Public Works, from Public Works Tech 3 to Code Enforcement Tech. Promotion of Stuart Collett in Public Works, from Public Works Tech 2 to Public Works Tech 3. Promotion, Tom Bradley in Public Works, from Senior Engineer to Deputy Director of Public Works. Resignation, William Barbie in the Police Department. Retirement, Kenneth Spalding, who we recognized earlier, in the Police Department. And that concludes the personnel.
Okay, do I have a motion for the approval of consent calendar? Got it, Commissioner A. A second, Commissioner Turner. Any questions, comments? Call roll.
Commissioner Waller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, the consent calendar is approved. Next on the agenda, board appointments. There being none, old business. Commissioner Hadden, followed by Commissioner May. Commissioner Hadden.
I have 3 things. With Parks and Rec with Forestry, are you guys going to fill Mr. Kamak's position where he resigned?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I didn't know if it was your intention or not with the department.
we are going to fill his position, but it's under our recommendation. In the past, it takes a year,
Yeah.
unless it's essential personnel. So we're probably going to try to limp through it as long as we can. But we'll probably come to y'all maybe sometime this fall and recommend hiring somebody, because we do need to fill that position. There's a lot of things that he does that me and Jim Parrish cannot do, do not have the expertise.
Right.
But that's been our concern. Of course, it's up to you all. If you all want to go ahead and proceed with that, we will. But that's always been, we always wait a year till we try to fill something.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner May. Oh, you got another one,
I have
please,
three
Ted.
things.
Sure, go ahead.
Number 2 would be with dispatch. Has anyone taken that position as the manager for dispatch? Has anyone taken that over?
Yes, Chief Whitworth, you want to come forward or talk about that?
In discussions with the city manager and the fire chief, we looked at that position, and really it kind of created an opportunity for us to do a little streamlining with the city manager staff, also combine some like positions. So what we have done is the emergency management the emergency management department has been combined with the communications to be a emergency management 911 center, and it'll be under the direction of the police department. It's very similar to what Louisville does with their Metro Safe.
Okay.
All of that is even though it's an independent board, it does respond to all the agencies in the county. Dispatch, of course, dispatch is not only for the city units, but the sheriff's office and the county fire department. And emergency management, as it stands now, has county-wide responsibility. So that's what we've done, basically combine those positions and added a part-time person to the emergency management side to help relieve Mr. Rambo from a lot of the operational things that he was doing before.
Okay. One question with that.
Sure.
It requires a college degree for that position? No.
That I'm aware of.
Okay.
Commissioner May's next. Then, you finished, Commissioner Hedden?
Yeah, that was my only other question with
All right,
that.
then we had Commissioner May,
Thank
then
you.
Commissioner Wilder.
All right, thank you. I was just going to say, I want to take the time to thank our city solicitor and all of our city staff for the work that they do. And I can say that in all my dealings with all of them, I've never thought anybody's intentionally or knowingly or willfully tried to, or even unwillingly, maybe, unknowingly tried to deceive us. I just want to say that support.
Okay, Commissioner Wilder, do you have a question? Comment?
Yeah, just to follow up on the college degree question, because it's been, I mean, reported widely in the paper and everything that one requirement for that emergency manager position is a college degree.
Well, I'm sorry, I guess I mistook the question as for the dispatch director.
Okay.
Was the question, does emergency management
With the
require-
combined position, is it going to require the college degree?
I don't